Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you something very important. It's called PyTorch. PyTorch is one of the deep learning frameworks from Facebook. Okay, so the other famous deep learning frameworks are TensorFlow and Keras. So you don't need to learn all three of them, one or two of them will be enough. And in fact, TensorFlow is very famous, but of late PyTorch is becoming very popular among research community, and also it's used for a lot of production things also. So what do you need for learning PyTorch? Okay, so you need to have basic understanding of Python. See guys, Python is very easy. You can learn Python in just 1 day or 2 day. Okay, so I will give you the Python notebooks that you can run it on your own computer. But what do you need for running Python? For running Python program, you would need Jupyter Notebook on Windows. Okay, or you can also have it run on Google Colab. So how do you actually get the Google Colab? It's very easy guys. Just go to Google Drive and copy one of the notebooks and you'll be able to run Google Colab. Okay, and one more notebook that is famous is Spider. Okay, you can also use Spider. Okay, so with this in background, let's go to PyTorch very basic introduction. Okay, you can get very good resources on the internet by just going to Google and type PyTorch tutorial, and the tutorial hosted by pytorch.org is the best. So that will give you a very basic introduction, and will also give you many example notebooks that you can actually use and run. Okay, with this I will start showing you the details. So you need to install Jupyter Notebook, and if you don't have that, you can still use PyTorch using the Google Colab. Okay, let's start. So first import the PyTorch library, import torch, and if this is not working, you need to install it by doing this: pip install torch. Okay, it's already installed because it's already there on my machine. Okay, I also recommend that you need to install NumPy. So I'm importing NumPy here as well, NumPy as np. Okay, so guys, this is very basic things I'm going to teach. The basic elements in PyTorch are called tensors. So tensors is the data element that you work with most of the times. Okay, so let's find out how to do the empty tensor. Okay, so if I just want to create a empty tensor of size 5 by 3, 5 rows and 3 columns, just do torch.empty and print x, and okay, so there we go, we have empty tensor. And you see, empty tensor will not be 0 always. It will be like a very close to 0 values, like minus e power minus 45, etc. But it won't be zeros. Okay, I will tell you how to do the zeros. And if I want to create a random tensor, okay, so this is the way: torch.rand 5 cross 3. So it will create 5 rows and 3 columns. So how many rows we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and 3 columns. Okay, this is random tensor, and these random numbers, unless specified, are from 0 to 1. Okay, next let's do the same thing. I don't want random numbers, I want zeros. Then you can create torch.zeros, and you can mention the data type. This is optional, you don't have to mention also. So here it will create 5 cross 8, that is 5 rows and 8 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, 8 columns. Okay, the zero tensor is easy. Let's go to the next one. So you can also create by adding the numbers manually. This is the way. So if I want to create a tensor of like 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 2 columns, these are the columns, right? So I can specify like this with the square brackets. These are rows. Okay, and whole thing has to be enclosed in a square bracket. Okay, this is easy. So I created that. Okay, and you can have arbitrary number of rows and columns. It's your choice. You can experiment with whatever you want. Okay, you can also create another tensor like one existing tensor. So here I am creating x like y. So I can mention as tost.rand n like x. Okay, so I want random number, the random tensor y like x. Okay, and this is the data type, which is float, tost.float. Okay, so x has 1 2 3 4 rows and 2 columns, so I'll get the y as the same dimensions, 1 2 3 4 rows and 2 columns. Okay, let's go to, oh, that is x, so y should be same, right? Okay, it's the same as x. So y dot shape, again it will show 4 rows and 2 columns. The shape is used very often, so you need to know this. You can also use size, okay, which will give the same result, tost.size 4 cross 2, 4 rows 2 columns. You can also do matrix additions. So let's create two tost tensors, y and x. You can also create by calling tost.ones, so it will create 5 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so x is again 5 rows and 3 columns. Let's print them. So as expected, 5 rows 3 columns x and y, and print x plus y should be element wise addition, right? So it should be same dimension 5 cross 3, but all the elements are 2 2 2 2. Okay, you can also add by tost.add xy, x plus y and dot add xy also will give the same. You can also do this, like you can have another third result tensor, and you can add tost.add x y and store the result in out equals to result. So our results will come in result. So if I print the result, it should be the output. Okay, so next important thing is shape and view. So shape I already talked about. Shape of x is 5 rows 3 columns, and you can also, okay, now if I want to change this 5 cross 3 to totally 15 elements, right? So I want 1 row and 15 columns, then I can do view, x dot view 1 cross 15, 1 row 15 columns. If I do 3 cross x dot view 3 and 5, so I'll get 3 rows and 5 columns. 3 rows and 5 columns. This is widely used, guys, so you need to know this. Or if I want 15 rows and 1 column, this is the one. Of course, you can assign it to a y, and y becomes 15 rows and 1 column. And you can also specify -1 in one of the dimensions. Here I am specifying the first dimension as -1, which is the rows, and the column is 3. I am specifying only column, but number of rows get adjusted automatically according to the columns. So 3 columns means it should be 5 rows. So that's what is the meaning of -1. If I put x dot view 3 comma -1, that means number of rows are specified, column has to be found by the torch itself. Okay, so you should automatically find 5 columns. And if I put x dot view 1 row and -1, so automatically it will get 15 columns. Okay, tost.rand n is only one number, guys. Okay, next is convert to numpy and vice versa. It's very easy. So let me define x tost.ones 5 cross 3. Okay, so I will get 5 rows and 1 column. And if I do x dot numpy, it will automatically give me numpy. So you see, whenever we have a tost type of data element, it will have a tensor here. Once it becomes numpy, that tensor will be gone, so it doesn't print tensor here. Okay, so this is now numpy format. If I look at the type of y, it should be type of y. So it should be ND array. Okay, so next I can also see, I'm just creating ND array manually. This is numpy array, print a. So it is printing me, like, basically this is 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, now I can convert that to torch as well. Torch dot from numpy. If I do that, it becomes a torch tensor. B is now a torch tensor. So A is this, which is assigned from here, and B becomes this. Okay, so now actually many times in machine learning what happens is the algorithms are running on the CPU, but if you want to make them run on GPU, which is much faster. In fact, when you do very complex algorithms and a lot of training, you need to run them on GPU. So that is done by basically specifying the device. So here we are specifying the device. Torch.CUDA is available. That means CUDA is GPU actually. If it is available means it's available. So I'm assigning the device type to torch.device CUDA. CUDA is GPU. Okay. So now I'm creating y equals to torch.once like x. Okay. So I created y here and x here. And here I'm mentioning the device equals to device. So it will run from the GPU. Any operations on y will run from the GPU. And if I do x equals to x.to device, again this is also valid notation, and in fact we do it all the time. That will make it run from the GPU. So let me see x. So it will print x, okay, which is array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cross 3, right? And it will also print the device that it's stored in, because y is also created like this, once like x. So y will also be same. Okay. So more about dimensions, because dimensions are very important in when you're dealing with neural networks. Okay. So let's experiment more. Torch.random is random number 5 cross 4 will give you 5 rows and 4 columns of random numbers. Okay, what happened? So this is what it is. What the shape of A will be 5 cross 4. Now if I want to get only the 0th row and all columns, so that is 0th row and all column. If I want to get all columns, all rows but 0th column, this. So I'll get this number, this number, this number. This is all these are basically all rows and 0th column. Okay. And if I want A2, that means actually it's a second row. So I should get third row. I should get this, which is okay. So am I printing it correctly? Okay. So it changes, the random number changes every time. So you are a little bit different. A2 should be now reflect this row, correct? 0.2595 and 0.2595. Okay. And squeeze is very important, guys. Squeeze, what it does is unsqueeze, basically unsqueeze. See, the dimensions of this is 5 cross 4, right? If I add unsqueeze, it will actually add a dummy dimension 1. Okay, actual array was 5, 4, but we added one dummy dimension. Many times the machine learning algorithms require a dummy dimension, so the unsqueeze becomes very important. Okay. Okay, let's do one more unsqueeze. C equals to B dot unsqueeze. So I should get one more added to the shape, which is 1. It's 1 cross 5 cross 4. It should become 1 cross 1 cross 5 cross 4. That's what it is here. And now if I want to squeeze it back, so I want to remove one of the dimensions here. This is dummy dimension, and I can remove it. See, one is removed. Let me do one more time squeeze. So squeeze, you need to give the dimension. Okay, here we're giving the 0th dimension, which is this. Here we're giving 0th dimension, which is this. Unsqueeze also would require the dimension. B dot shape is this, right? But let's say if I do 1, it will add a dimension in between. It will become 5 cross 1 cross 4. Let me try that. See, 5 cross 1 cross. Okay, so unsqueeze and squeeze actually take the input dimension and then add a dummy dimension there. Okay guys, matrix multiplication is very important. Let me show some example here. So we are creating two matrices of size 2000 cross 2000. So 2000 rows and 2000 column in NumPy. So A is a matrix of NumPy array and B is a matrix of NumPy. okay, 2000 rows and 2000 column, and I'm multiplying C, which is np.matmul, matrix multiplication AB. So how much time it is taking? 277 milliseconds. Let's do the same thing in the torch, which is PyTorch tensor. Okay, torch.random 2000 cross 2000 will produce me 2000 rows and 2000 columns of random numbers. And the same thing with B. Torch.matmul, you see, they have intentionally kept similar to NumPy so that you don't have trouble in learning this. So you see, NumPy is not optimized, okay, whereas Torch is very much optimized. It's always half the time, okay. It takes half. This is taking 274 milliseconds, and this guy is taking only 106 milliseconds. And now if I add the device type to device, which is GPU, right? That's what we defined earlier. It will be even faster. Let's try how much will this be. 84. See, it became faster. This facility is not there with NumPy. Okay. Okay. Next thing, we come to gradient, which is very important. I will give you an example. So thing about Torch is it's very good in the sense it automatically produces the gradients. Okay, now let's go to the gradients. Torch is very good in the sense, PyTorch is very good because it automatically produces the gradients. In many of the algorithms, right, when you have to deal with stochastic gradient algorithm, right, then you need to actually find your own gradients by some kind of a multiplications or some kind of a derivative. But here, Torch, the PyTorch automatically calculates the gradient. Let me show you. So we are defining X, which is a tensor of 3 cross 2, that is 3 rows and 2 columns. It's all ones, okay. Y is a function of X plus 5, okay. And Z is Y square plus 7. Okay, so now we calculated Z, right? 1, Y is X plus 5, which is 1 plus 5, so it should all become 6. Then again 6 square plus 7 is how much? 43. So that's why Z is all 43. Now I want to do T, which is sum of all these 43. So how much will be T? T will be 43 into 6, which is 258. Okay. So now if I do T dot backward, what it means is, this is very important, guys. T dot backward is going to calculate the gradient all the way up to X. So it's actually going to give me in mathematics what we call as dou T by T, right? dt by. So what is the value of dou T by dou X? Okay, or dt by dx. So let's see what we did. Y equals to X plus 5, Z equals to Y square plus 7. So Y is X plus 5 here, Z is X square, Y square plus 7, which is X plus 5 whole square plus 7. Let me do differentiate this with respect to X. So what should I get? I should get, let me write in a way that we can understand this. Okay, I will write it like this. Dou T by dou X, right? By D. Okay, let me write it like this. So what is the answer? So by calculus, 2 into X plus 5 whole square plus 7 when differentiated with X, it is 2 into X plus 5. And X is 1, so it should become 2 into 6, which is 12. So 12 here. Okay, so this is very simple. Actually we can calculate it manually, but guys, when you're dealing with complicated machine learning algorithms or even neural networks, okay, you'll have to do very complex gradients, okay, like that will have sine, cos waves, e power x, e power minus x, and logs. Okay, so there you don't have to struggle and find the gradients. The PyTorch will automatically find gradients for you. Okay, So for that, for any variable to find gradient for you, you need to explicitly set x, for example, is set to required grad equals to true. This is what you need to do. And finally, when you reach the final value, right, t, which is the final output, you need to do a backward for you to get the gradients. Okay. So I need to do again from here, otherwise it will fail. Okay, we already did this. Okay, so this is wonderful. Few more examples. Okay, so I have x is a tensor that I manually defined here, an array of 2, 2, 4, 5, 5, 7, 9, 10, and then y is another one. Okay, and if I do x dot eq y, it will give me, you know, all the positions where x is equal to y, right? So all the positions here, 2 equals to true, so it's true. 2 equals to 2, true, 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 and the last three numbers are not equal, so it will give me false. Okay, so this is what you need to learn today, guys, and in the next session I will provide you more details. So there will go into details of how to calculate the gradient and probably start with the first neural network. Thank you very much. Okay, this is all I had for this session. In the next session I will provide you more information. Meanwhile, you can try experimenting with PyTorch. Okay, you can actually install Jupyter Notebook if you have not installed, or use Google Colab and install Torch and start working on the basic tensors. I will share this notebook with you, so you can take the same notebook and do experiments on this and change the numbers, change the dimensions, and do various things. In the next session, we will try to dig more into how to calculate the gradients. We will do an exercise of how to, calculate the gradients, how to define the first simple neural network. Okay, thank you, guys.